everyone. Welcome to Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools on how to do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I am here with Robin Shimizu talking about happy, healthy habits. Good morning, Robin. You
Good
know,
morning, Carolina.
it's always a blessing to have you in the studio. I get excited because you do travel, but and I like that about you. I just want to say, that you appreciate it and we love what it is that you bring to the table.
Thank you.
Yes, we're learning so much. And I,
Well, we have so many great coaches and experts out there that are willing to come on the show with us. So this is just a blessing all around.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Wow. So with that, I'm not going to take up time. Let's get this party started. I know you usually have a fantastic, happy, healthy habit for us, and then I'm going to have you introduce your guest.
Okay, so I have a little story.
Mhm.
A couple of days ago, my mother's favorite show in the entire world is Tamron Hall. She loves, loves, loves Tamron Hall, watches it every day. And the other day, Tamron had on this woman that was talking about anxiety. And just the word anxiety makes you anxious. I mean,
It
it's
does.
you think anxiety, you get anxious. And so she said on her show, she wanted to provide people with solutions on how to handle anxiety. So that was her show. And I encourage people to go watch it. It was a really good show. If you have a ability to go back and see these things, I'm not going to talk about the woman that she had on there, but she was really, really super interesting and helpful. But it got me thinking, okay, I've never considered myself anxious, but in my old age, I realized I do have anxiety because I didn't acknowledge that I had anxiety. And so a lot of us don't really know we're anxious. And so like for me, I don't really think I'm anxious, but then I think there's things I do that are anxious like. So I'm going to talk about anxiety a little bit because I think our guest today is Linus Woods Mullins, and she's going to talk about anxiety in our society. And I found this on the internet this morning. Are Americans feeling more anxious in 2024? That was
you think, Marsha?
and this is Washington, D.C. In 2024, results of the American Psychiatric Association's annual mental health poll shows that U.S. adults are feeling increasingly anxious. In 2024, 43% of adults say they are more anxious than they were in the previous year, up from 37% and up from 32% in 2022.
Wow. That's a big jump.
That's a huge number, 43% of adults. And it's even worse for kids. People that are less than 50 years old, it's even higher for young adults, the anxiety that they have to deal with. So the only thing that I can do in the next 3 minutes is to talk about foods that can help ease our anxiety. And it's going to go quickly because I want to leave time for our guest, Linus.
And she is in the studio.
Okay, great. Okay, so the first food, I think there's 10 that they recommend. Salmon. Salmon may be beneficial for reducing anxiety. It contains nutrients to promote brain health, including vitamin D, omega-3 acids, and I can't say this, EPA and DHA. These are nutrients that can help regulate the neurotransmitters dopamine and serotonin. I'm not going to go through this. I'm just going to go through this really quickly. Okay, so salmon, chamomile tea. So make yourself a nice little cup of chamomile tea if you start feeling a little anxious. And anxiety is in a lot of different forms. It could be you're breathing a little faster, your heart gets your heart starts to beat, you get butterflies in your tummy. There's a lot of physical things that happen when you're anxious. So you just tune into your body is what this expert was saying, is that we need to stop and really just tune into how we're feeling. And we can stop this anxiety. And I hope Linus is going to have little tips on that for us too. The third one is turmeric. So adding turmeric to our diet.
That is interesting.
This is a good one. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is another one. Number 4 is dark chocolate. Incorporating some dark chocolate into your diet may help ease anxiety because it contains flavonols. Okay, yogurt is the 5th one. Green tea. We talked about green tea several weeks ago about how the benefits of green tea. So incorporating green tea. Almonds are a good thing to add. I'm hoping that almonds.
That was good for anxiety. Go ahead.
Blueberries. For 9th one is eggs. And I guess that's it. So they had 9 foods that they were recommending that we go to if we're starting to feel anxious. And just to help regulate our nutrients in our body to help us ease the anxiety that we have in our body. So anyway, we have to breathe deeply, and it's a very anxious time for us right now.
Yes, it's an interesting time. It is an interesting time. And I am really thankful that you brought up these different foods, because now I can see even more benefit for turmeric. Wow. Because the last time Lennis was in the studio, she talked about turmeric. But I digress. Our guest is ready in the green room. Do you want to introduce her?
Oh, I'm behind. Oh, darn it. I want to read her bio, and I don't have it pulled out. I'm so bad. I'm not prepared. I apologize, Lennis.
Well, we can have Lennis introduce herself.
Well, we could do that too.
Okay, we're going to add her to the stage.
Lennis, I apologize.
You caught me.
She was sitting. I guess she was sitting.
Multitasking and doing other things. Of course, I can introduce myself. I'm Lennis. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone?
All is well.
All is good.
Good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. And okay, I just lost my lights. I can't even.
We can see you though.
You can see me. Okay, I can't quite see my computer there. Okay.
Oh well, that's a problem.
Beautiful.
Nice. Oh, thank you. You have no idea what's going on in the background here. This is my 3rd interview this morning, though, and my hair was down, and I gave myself a good look in the mirror right before I called you guys, and I was like, let me put my hair up for a while. You know, sometimes you just need to take it off your face. It's just too much.
Yes, I hear you.
Anyway, I heard you all talking about anxiety. And of course, that is my bailiwick because I suffered from anxiety for many, many years. And it's one of the reasons why I founded this business was to help women not go through what I went through. I found out later that one of the issues was that part of my anxiety issue was from menopause, hormonal imbalance, where those women who are suffering from anxiety, you might want to take a look at what's going on with your hormones, because an elevated level of cortisol can give you the feelings of anxiety, especially first thing in the morning when you wake up and you're feeling anxious or whatever. Many times that could be attributed to anxiety. So you might want to take a look at that. It's funny. I don't know if I told you, Robin, what I was going to talk about today. Did I tell you?
Yes, you did. That's why I wanted to give something to support you.
Okay, great. I thought I did. I couldn't remember if it was you I talked to or it was someone else, because I've been doing a lot of these this week, talking about stress and anxiety, because it's become almost like an epidemic. And the interesting thing is that it has now crossed gender lines, as you've said. But I'm speaking to the ladies right now because I'm not so concerned about the men right now. I'm not into the bro culture right now, okay? I've had enough of that. So, because I hope we will not be inundated with bro culture in the future, but there's a possibility. So until that time, girl, I'm just going to focus on us women, because either way it goes, we're going to need it. Okay.
Amen.
And the reality is either way, the reality is that we as women, we have very complicated bodies. We really do. I mean, we are the bringer of life. Okay. We're the carrier, deliverer of life. And then we do the majority of the nurturing during life.
Yes, we do.
So if we are
Okay.
all stressed out and preoccupied with what's going on, let's say, just let's be real honest, right now, it does feed into our health, but it also feeds into our relationships. It feeds into how we're showing up at work. It can feed into a plethora of things. So there's got to be a way where we can still stay basically informed and still maintain a sense of calm. So that's what I was going to talk about today is, how we can try to keep ourselves calm during turbulent times. And some of these things you may already know, but I want to talk about them anyway because they really do work. And again, like, how I always say that knowledge is powerful, or is power, but actually implementing the knowledge, that's what's powerful. And I think if you could maybe just do a couple of lifestyle tweaks here and there using one or two of these suggestions, you will see a reduction of anxiety. One of the things is that really important is that you move. We have a tendency to be sedentary, and as we get older, we're even more sedentary. And then these days with people working from home and telecommuting, they don't even have to get up, get in the car, park, and walk to their office. They get up, fix a cup of coffee, and sit in their office at home. And they may have accomplished maybe 200 steps in the morning versus maybe 1,000 steps. Just, going to work, getting out of the car and walking to the office and walking to your cubicle or to your office. That right there, you think that's not a big difference, but over time it does add up. One of the things that, besides gaining weight, I'm not even talking about that, is how your hormones are produced. When you're walking or moving, any kind of movement at all, the happy hormones start producing. The brain gets the signal that, oh, she's moving. This is a good thing. Okay. And you start to feeling an uplifting of the spirit. So if you're not walking around in the mornings and you're feeling anxious, that anxiety is just going to sit right there. But one way to try to move it out, of the picture is to start walking throughout your house, going outside for a walk, whatever you can do to get moving. I recommend that when you first get up in the morning, you want to do stretching, you want to do maybe take a quick walk, whatever. If you can stay on your feet, walking around for the next hour or two, just doing chores around the house and things like that, it really does help to drive those cortisol levels down. And it does help to alleviate some of that anxiety. Because if you're getting busy in the morning doing whatever your morning ritual is, you're not necessarily thinking about whatever it is that's making you anxious. If you're waking up and you're lying there feeling anxious, it just kind of bombards you and those feelings go up even more. But movement and finding something to occupy your time, those first couple of hours in the morning, can go a long way towards keeping you calm. Another thing that could be very helpful first thing in the morning is journaling. Getting out whatever it is that you're feeling. Studies have shown that with anxiety, if you try to push it down and not allow yourself to feel it, it gets even worse. So allow yourself to feel it and write about it. Write what you're anxious about, what you're upset about, and just begin to get it out of you and get it on paper. You will find that you will feel better. Keeping it inside has all kinds of negative benefits. First of all, trying to push anxiety away just makes it worse. I know I suffered from it for many years, and it just makes it worse. And also, not only does it make it worse, but over time, it can impact your body. Keeping your emotions locked up inside of you is a good way to begin to usher in a compromised immune system, chronic disease, even things like cancer, believe it or not. So our emotions, first of all, are meant to be felt and expressed, and in some cases eradicated, get rid of it so that it doesn't make you sick. Now, another thing that you can do to try to stay calm is aromatherapy. And I think you might have mentioned, I don't know if you were mentioning foods. Okay, you were talking about foods. But aromatherapy is basically using essential oils that can help to calm you and help to kind of switch the chemicals in your brain a little bit. Because anxiety can be caused by an antidote, post-traumatic stress of some kind, trauma. And I think we've all been traumatized in this country. There's just no other way around it. We've been traumatized. And so these things are things that can help you get rid of the symptoms. But if you really want to get rid of the causation, probably you need to talk to a therapist. I don't want to say that these things will get rid of your anxiety, but it will help to keep you calm enough so that you can function through the day and maybe pick up the phone and call a therapist and make an appointment. The essential oils that really help with calming, of course, are lavender and chamomile. But bergamot is really good as well. And I like to diffuse oils, but sometimes I like to put them on topically with a carrier oil and put them on my pulse points sometimes, or sometimes I'll put them on the side of my neck, the bottom of my feet. If you were into reflexology, you would put it, I think, on the third toe. I don't remember. I'm not looking at a map right now, but there's a part of your foot that leads directly to the brain. And the whole idea is to help the brain know what to do in terms of what kinds of signals they need to send to produce the kind of hormones that will help drive down some of those feelings of anxiety or hysteria or stress. And essential oils can absolutely work. Another thing that can really help is just getting out in nature. If you're feeling like freaked out, you're feeling that anxiety and that distress because of all the things that are going on, taking a walk in nature is hugely beneficial. I cannot recommend that enough. I can tell when I don't take the time to go for a walk. And it's not just about weight loss or staying in shape, because actually the only way you really lose weight is by what you put in your mouth. The walking can help drive down cortisol levels, which thicken you, so it helps you that way. But you have to walk a whole bunch to burn a whole bunch of calories. Walking is really to keep your mindset positive. It's also good for you in terms of getting out and getting fresh air, and also connecting with nature and the sun. The sun is excellent. It can actually help you to reset your circadian rhythms. And the circadian rhythms govern how we sleep. And if you're not getting enough sleep because of the anxiety and stress, that compounds how you're feeling during the day in terms of not feeling calm. So getting out in nature and moving, first of all, any kind of exercise helps you to sleep better. Second of all, getting out in the fresh air helps to reset your fresh oxygens, create new blood cells, which help with the brain, which helps nourish the brain, which helps the brain help you deal with the fact that you're not feeling calm. It will work better for you and help to develop or help to send messages to have certain feel-good hormones, produced in your system. It's amazing how our bodies work. Our bodies want to support us. But because of all of the different things that have been introduced to our bodies, we now have to do certain things to help it. We live in a world full of toxins, and those toxins have, in some cases, compromised how our body works. So we need to do other things to make sure that we're helping our bodies not be ruined or influenced by a lot of toxins. And there's toxicity in everything. I don't know if you can get rid of all the toxins, but you can do some things to help your body along, and you don't want to add to it. Essential oils is a great way to retain your focus, your clarity, your memory. So in those times where you're having problems concentrating because, of all the different things that are going on that you've seen on the news, get some peppermint oil and put it on underneath your nose and breathe it in, or put it in your palm, stir it around a couple of times because that activates the properties, and then breathe it in. And not only will it give you energy, but it will help you to refocus. Another thing that is very helpful to establish calm is something that would take you away from being able to listen to the wonderful Biz Chicks, and that's just a digital detox. You really need to take that time. If you're in the point where you're just not feeling calm, you feel like your stress is out of control, do a digital detox. You're going to be reducing your screen time, especially before bed. And of course, with that, spending more time doing something else, maybe a hobby, or maybe going outdoors, or maybe spending time with the kids or the grandchildren or your husband, anything but looking in that darn phone or at that darn screen. Get rid of that, because the exposure or lack of exposure really does help to lower the cortisol levels, believe it or not. And a break from the technology reduces the overstimulation. When we're overstimulated, it's really hard to feel calm. By taking yourself on a digital detox, then you begin to feel much better and not quite as stimulated. That blue light is really, really hard for the brain to disconnect from. You have to help it out and just turn it off completely. Sometimes just walking away from the screen is not enough. You have to like maybe not take a look at any screens for a couple of days just to detox. And the best way to digital detox probably is on vacation. I mean, people already know you're away. The expectation hopefully is with the people that you work with or whatever project that you're working on that you're going on vacation. So therefore you're not working, right? Okay. So therefore that's an easy thing to do. If you can't go on vacation, plan your digital detox because you don't want the digital detox to be stressful. Yeah, you let people know I'm going to be taking a few days off. I won't be answering my email and I'm not going to be available by phone except for maybe at between 12 and 1 or whatever. I'll check my messages before I go to, not before you go to bed at night, but maybe in the morning or whatever. But basically, you're not going to be connected in that way. Let people know. And you'd be surprised how cooperative they are. And they can be like, oh, no, you must stay on. Like, oh, yeah, I wish I could do that. So I think it's something that we should all put on our agenda. I know for me, my digital detox is going to be between the 24th and the 30th or something like that. I'm not going to be online. I'm not going to be checking messages. If you see me online, it's because it's been pre-programmed. But I'm not going to be there personally because I just need that break. Another thing you can do to stay calm is something that really does help, and it has to do with the amount of minerals that you take in, and that is grounding. Getting outside, hopefully in your bare feet when it's not too cold, or if it's cold, you can stand the cold, and sitting outside, standing in the dirt and allowing yourself to just be. Grounding is very, very impactful when you're standing in the dirt. There are minerals that your feet will absorb because your feet are very absorptive, believe it or not. No matter how tough you think they might be, they still absorb certain things. And when you're on the ground, they absorb minerals that your body needs. And almost everybody is depleted of minerals unless you're taking a multi-mineral supplement. And most people don't take them. But I'm here to tell you that one of the ones that almost everybody absolutely is deficient of is magnesium citrate. And magnesium citrate is extremely important, but especially when it comes to dealing with anxiety. Some people take supplements for it. I take it occasionally because it also can help with sleep. But if you are a person that likes being outside and you walk around barefoot, it's already half of the solution because you're walking around barefoot. But I'm saying to walk barefooted on the ground, in the grass, and allow yourself to just be. And then there's also grounding exercises you can do, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And that's naming 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 that you can taste. And you do it quickly, and it redirects your anxious thoughts, and it calms you. It has you to focus on something else other than whatever it is that's causing you to feel anxious or uncalm. And again, it's called the grounding exercise. And it's 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. And you'll find that redirects your anxious thoughts and you'll begin to feel more calm. Another thing that's really important when it comes to anxiety is breathing. Many times when people aren't feeling calm, when they're feeling anxious or worried, they forget to breathe. And we're already a nation of non-breathers because we are so stressed out. We live at such a fast pace. I mean, this morning, when I think about it, I'm feeding right into the whole hype. This is my 3rd interview this morning, and it's 8:30. Okay, my first one was about 30 minutes ago and then 30 minutes before that, which means I was up, and I get up early anyway. I get between 4:35, I wake up at 3, but I get out of bed like around 4. And then, of course, I'm running around. I didn't get a chance to do my morning thing that I normally do. So I did not practice what I preached today. My morning, I was up on my feet all day. That was great. But I didn't do the other things that I normally do to ward off any feeling of stress or calm. When you have those kind of busy schedules like that, and let's say you don't get a chance to do some of the other things I just got through talking about, breath work and meditation can really help. One of the techniques that I like to use is the 4-7-8 technique, which is inhaling for 4 counts, and then you hold it for 7 counts, and then you exhale for 8 counts. That really does help. Breathing in for 4, holding for 7, and breathing out on 8. First of all, you're replenishing your red blood cells because you're breathing again. And the other thing is that you are relaxing and focusing on your breath more so than focusing on the stressful moments and activities that you're getting ready to go into or that you just came from. And it really does help. Another thing that can be helpful is a body scan meditation. Mm-hmm. Body scan meditations can help relax the body and the mind. You just kind of check in with your body. How does your head feel? How does your neck feel? How does your chest feel? How do your arms feel? You just check in with all of your body. And next thing you know, you're no longer thinking about whatever it is that you're upset about or what is keeping you from being calm. You begin to be tuned into your body. Self-awareness is very important anyway. So learning how to do the body scan technique can sometimes help you to identify things that don't quite feel right. And then now you're on the road and journey of figuring out what you need to do to take care of you instead of going down that road of, oh God, what can I do to take care of what's going on in this country? It sounds bizarre, but seriously, when you are doing a body scan, all of a sudden you're thinking about things that concern you, which is important. Given what's going on right now and the fact that people are feeling so anxious and calmness is harder to get, self-care is probably one of the most important things. Instead of rushing through, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, putting on your makeup, doing your face or whatever, take time with you. Check in with you. Look in the mirror. Do your mirror work. And when I talk about mirror work, I mean, and I know a lot of women have problems with this, but we've got to do it, gals. Looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you. I appreciate you. I think you're fabulous. Talking and edifying yourself is another way to bring some calm into the situation. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, but I don't like myself. Well, then you need to figure out why you don't and then start working on liking yourself. Because the reality is if you're not feeling good about yourself, then everything goes to hell in a handbasket. You want to make sure that your emotional health, your mental health is in check. So if you're having issues about not feeling good about yourself, that's a great opportunity for you to go ahead and get some therapy, some talk therapy. And these days, talk therapy is a lot more affordable than it used to be. They have all kinds of things now out there to help people with their mental health because it's a concern. We as a country, and I think it's pretty evident, we are not very mentally healthy for so many reasons that are basically out of our control. But the good news is that we can equip ourselves in the ways that I just got through talking about, or we can use these techniques to minimize the damage of living in a society that, is emotionally unwell right now. And, I think that, the United States is a fantastic country. Obviously, everybody wants to come here. At least they used to want to come here. But we have some issues and we need to work through them. But the issues that the country has, you don't necessarily have to adopt as your issues. Not to say that you don't have any, but if you do, work on yours. That's where it starts. If everybody would just work on their stuff, then over time they are well, and maybe they deal with other people in a different way. And there begins the domino of healing for this country. But it really does start with you. In fact, I'm releasing a podcast today. If I can finish the editing on it, I'm going to do it today because it's too important. A woman wrote a book called America in Therapy. And it's a fascinating discussion about why we seem to be in the state that we're in and what we can do about it. And one of my takeaways from that discussion with the author was that we can go ahead and start examining ourselves and taking better care of ourselves. So working on attaining calm really is a part of the solution to what's going on here nationally or even globally. Because if we're emotionally well, then we're approaching things differently. We're dealing with people differently. The outcomes will be different and people will be impacted differently. And it's kind of a domino effect. I mean, when's the last time you really checked in with yourself? I mean, you know you're anxious, you know you're all stressed out, but when did you check in to figure out why it is? Besides what's going on here, what else is going on? And what kinds of things can you do to not just put Band-Aids on them, but solve them? That's the other thing too, is that we put a lot of Band-Aids on things like these things I've talked about. And there's so many other things you can do like yoga. There's certain herbs like ashwagandha that will be helpful for your calm, or holy basil, or what's the other one? Chamomile, lavender, as we talked about earlier. These are all things that help to take away the symptoms, and they do help you get through the day. But at some point, you want to peel back the layers to figure out what is causing you to take away your calm, and then work on those things. I mean, I should be really anxious right now, but I'm not, because I'm using these techniques, but also because I went and got the help that I needed, so that when these kinds of things come up, I can use my tools and they help take away the symptoms, but it doesn't take me back to developing issues around causation. You know what I mean? It's just that I'm just taking care of the surface stuff. It's working for me now because I peeled back the layers. I did the work years ago to heal and to take care of me and to figure out what really was going on, get that taken care of, so that it is not always, it's not a systemic thing any longer. It's just a part of something that happens. I go into my toolkit, do the stuff, and it really helps. And one thing I mentioned about movement, I mentioned walking, but yoga really does work. And one of the reasons why yoga works is that you're focusing on those weird those weird moves. You focus on that, and you're focusing on breathing in your body, and it really does help to alleviate that feeling of uncalm and stress.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me.
Wow. Awesome. These are all very, very doable.
Yeah.
Very,
Yes.
and like you said, you started out saying if you just incorporate one or two of these, they're going to make a huge difference. And I can easily incorporate them.
Yes, like the breathing. And I'm going to be talking about this on the Vibe Wellness Woman Network. I don't know when the date is. You have to look at the events, but we have several good workshops coming up. And I don't know if you had a chance to go in and take a look at the replays, Robin, but I think we have like 8 or 9 workshops already that have been done. And today we have several that are happening. I don't have one. One of them is about eating window. That's today. And there's tomorrow, we're talking about embodying our emotions and how to move our emotions out of ourselves through movement. It's a really good session with Jen Axe. She's an embodiment coach, and she teaches people how to use movement to represent how they're feeling and to help them kind of. One of the things about achieving calm and moving past the stress and keeping the emotions inside is definitely through movement in all kinds of different ways. I mentioned walking and I mentioned yoga. Well, embodiment coaching can also help you do that. I mean, you literally have movement that you can use to represent moving fear out of the way, or anger, or whatever. She helps you to create a move that represents that. And, you know, like for instance, one of mine was frustration. I think it was in the middle of my, trying to launch the membership site and all that kind of stuff. And she said, well, what are you feeling today? I said, I'm feeling frustration. She said, okay. When you think of frustration, what makes you, how does your body feel? And I said, where do you feel it? And I said, I feel it, like right around a tightness in my chest or something. She says, okay. She said, you feel like tightness in the chest. She said, if you could, how would you move to take it out of your chest? I said, I'd pull it out. She said, okay, we'll start doing that. So I did. I started doing that. And I started feeling better. So now anytime I feel some frustration, I say, of course, now if I'm in the middle of a department store, it might go a little weird. But these days, people are used to folks looking weird, so it doesn't matter. They're like, okay, that's somebody else has lost it. Whatever, let's move over here. But yeah, that really does help. It really does get rid of it. Music is another thing. I don't think we use music enough. Music really helps. I had a lady on my podcast. We talked about the frequency of music and how sound frequencies can alter your moods. That is on the Vibe Living podcast. It's one of the top podcasts of this year. I just released it about 3 weeks ago. She happens to be one of the contributors. Her name is Nurse Blue, and she also did a workshop on this as well. And it really makes a difference how you the kind of music you want to listen to. High vibrational music. Most rap music is not high vibrational, which that's a whole nother conversation in terms of why Generation X, people who are 50 and under, are having some of the issues that they're having, because they used to listen to a lot of that rap music, and some of it was very, very negative. And also, she mentioned some of the instruments they use and everything else have a tendency to vibrate on a lower level than some other instruments. I mean, it kind of all adds up to low vibrational music. Yep, absolutely. And she's a musicologist, so she has studied this. So she has like 2,000 titles that she recommends. Her playlist of things to listen to when you're anxious, when you're upset, when you're angry, whatever. And I've got a couple of her playlists, and it really does work. So create your own playlist. You know what makes you feel good, and you know what doesn't. I know one of my clients told me the other day that anything by what's her name, Gwen Stefani, and she does have a lot of uplifting, hyper type of music, that kind of thing. That listens, and that just takes them out of whatever. For me, it's any kind of Latin music. Sergio Mendes, who I just absolutely love Sergio Mendes. I'm so sad that he's gone. I had his wife on my podcast, and before he died, it was about 10 years ago. And she was talking about how Sergio loved what he did because he knew that the vibrations that he was creating was uplifting the world, because he was a world-renowned musician, not just Latin. And Latin music is uplifting. The kind of instruments they use and the frequency those instruments resonate on, they make a difference. Think about it. When you listen to Latin music, you can't help but like, I don't know if you feel that same way if you're listening to I can't even think of a goth artist, but there are goth artists out there, and their music is darker and brooding, and the words make a difference. And I think with the rap, it was not just the instruments, it was the words.
Interesting.
That permeate your soul. So there's a lot of healing that needs to be done in this country, but the things that I talked about can at least get you to be thinking more clearly so that you can begin to do what's necessary to get healed, permanently from the stress and the uncalm that you feel, especially during these turbulent times. I think that our qualified psychologist and psychotherapist should be really, really booked up right now.
And I think they probably are. But Linus, what we do want to do is talk about how people can connect with you. And we'd like you to tell us a little bit about your new website and those things that you have coming up.
Well, I would love to do that. Thank you very much. We have a lot of exciting things coming up on the Vibe Wellness Woman Network. Vibe Wellness Woman Network is actually a compilation of wellness information, and it grows every day. I have 17 contributors. I just added a new holistic practitioner. Yeah. And what they do is they share with you information that's going to help you to stay whole and well, to help you be more vibrant, more intuitive, more beautiful, and more empowered during this midlife journey and beyond. We talk about all kinds of things, and you can go to the live events and take a look at the schedule to see what we're going to be talking about. I think it's fairly up to date. There's still some more I have to add, but we have workshops going on every week. There's something going on. And take a look and see what's okay. So what we have going on is how having an eating window can make every part of your wellness better. The awakening of your emotional intelligence, that's the one I'm talking about with embodiment. That's tomorrow. Unleashing potential by creating a holistic wellness plan. She's going to teach you how to create a holistic wellness plan that's easy to implement, that takes care of the concerns of the mind, body, and spirit. And the other one, what's the other one we're going to have? Oh, that's me. Calm within holistic strategies. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper than what I did now about holistic strategies. Food and fitness simplified. She's going to be talking about different things you can do after 50 in
That's
terms
a
of
good
eating
one.
and moving. Another one is self care. Elevate your life. Who was doing that one? This one's going to, I know it's going to be about self-care, but I can't think of who it is that's doing it. Can't think of the other one. And this one, Shift Happens. That's Jill Diamond Taylor. She is one of our contributors.
Oh, wow.
And she's going to be on. And I know we have a doctor, and I haven't added hers yet. I think she comes on November something, 11th or whatever. She is going to be doing a series on things to help us during the Christmas holidays. When it comes with stress, eating, all of that. She's going to do 4, and she's really excited about it. She is a functional practitioner and an MD. And we have about 3 or 4 MDs, and we are going to be having an OB, GYN. He's a cosmetic gynecologist, and I'm going to be I did release his podcast yesterday, and it's very, very interesting about vaginal repair, pelvic floor repair, and also sexual intimacy that many women just sometimes let go of after 40. They're not getting the pleasure anymore they used to. And a lot of times that can be fixed because sometimes it's damage that's been done through childbirth, other things that happen as we age, or something that you've always had and that you didn't know it. And he is a guy, one of the few in the United States, who specializes in not just vaginal repair, but also cosmetic gynecology that has to do with helping with our sexual response, which is still important when it comes to our overall health. Now, you can go and take a look at all the replays of the workshops. All you have to do is sign up for a 7-day trial. You can go to the workshops for free. If you
this take us there.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the cost of the membership. It's $24.97. And this is the last day of the code that you can get for 20% off, which is Vibe 20. Vibe 20 gives you 20% off of the $24.97 or of the year. And the other thing is that you will also get discounts on your the events that we have coming up. And we do have an event coming up in January called the Vitality Summit on January 11th. It's a virtual event, and it's going to be really something. I'm pretty sure, I know I have to confirm who our keynote's going to be, but we're going to have keynotes, we're going to have speakers, we're going to have panelists, we're going to have vendors. It's going to be in a virtual environment, but it's going to feel like you're in a real career fair. It's amazing, the stuff that they do. So that's coming up, and we'll be releasing more information about that probably next week. Once we get some things finalized with our sponsors and our keynote. So that's kind of what's been going on. I want to encourage everybody. A lot of thought has gone into this network. And the whole idea is to bring women together to look, to find out about the options that they have. I'm not expecting everybody to just do all this stuff, but I really truly believe that on the podcast or on Lennox Minutes or in the blog or on the workshops, you're going to get an aha moment. And we have courses too. You're going to get an aha moment and be like, oh, wait a minute. You know what? I probably do need to do that. And actually, I listened to you, Robin, and the navigation is much easier now. You can figure it out. And if you're a member, all you do is click on member, and that lets you know what's going on for that week and everything else. Teralina, did you get my text message?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm going to email you because we're featuring Teralina as a member of the month. So we're featuring her because I really appreciate those chicks because they support women-owned businesses, and they've been supporting me on this journey. So I can't say enough about how wonderful they are.
And we can't say enough about how excited we are and happy for your success.
Well,
people who love you are happy when you're successful.
Okay? Yes. I get it. I get it.
Phenomenal product, Linus. It's phenomenal.
It really is. And sometimes I think, oh wow, because like for instance, this is the first week since we opened that I haven't gotten a new membership. I'm like, oh wow. And then I could hear very succinctly from the Holy Spirit saying, look, you're in this for the long haul, okay? Think about it. 17 years. Did every single day of that 17 years you make money? Hell no. So this is just part of the journey.
What you love. When you do what you love, it pays.
It does.
So, yes. So with that, we want to remind everybody that this is where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We want to encourage you to support Lennis, to become a part of her community, and also to become a part of the Biz Chicks community. In order to do that, you can simply text biz to 33777, or you can join us over at bizchicks.net. We'd love to share with people what it is you do and how you serve. Ladies, I just want to thank you and let you know that you are extremely appreciated. And that I feel calmer already knowing that there are things that I can do, Lennis, to tap some of this down. Thank you for what you do and how you serve. Again,
Thank you.
who
I
do
just
you
texted 3377 because I don't think I've ever done it before.
33777? Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, we just want to say thank you, everyone. Do you want to tell us who's coming up next week?
Next week we have Lakeisha Appleton with us. She is our Mary Kay consultant. And then also we need to remind people we have First Mondays coming up.
Oh, yes.
On Monday already. It's already been a month.
Wow.
So no,
I know. And First Mondays has gone back to the evening. So we'll be there at 6 o'clock. So come on over to Seasons 52 in the Arden Fair Mall. We're going to have fabulous speakers and opportunities for you. Come on, let's get back together.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Linus. I'm going to start journaling instead of looking at my phone at night. That's
journaling is really, and I know you can journal on your phone too, but that kind of defeats
no, I got a beautiful journal that was given
Just
to me.
something that happens between the pen and the paper.
Yeah.
That is, it's a different experience.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So do you journal by
journals?
Do you journal by subject?
Kind of, sort of, yes. I have this is my journal for my clients, and then I have my to-do business journal right here. This is for my talk with God. I do this process called, Lord, what is it you want me to know today? And then I just start writing, and it really works. And this one right here is my just my journal of thoughts and stuff. This one is my prayer line journal. And this one now is my prayer line journal because this one's full. It took me about, what I do is I write down the prayer requests of everybody. And so I can kind of remember what to pray for. And I've been on this prayer line now for, one of them I've been on the prayer line for 17, 18 years.
Wow.
And then my daughter started a prayer line, and hers has been on for a year. And it's full of millennials.
Yeah,
and Generation Xers. Yeah. So it's kind of nice to know that young people. That's a good thing. And actually, it's a great way for me to check in with the girls because all girls are almost always there every morning, along with my sisters and some of their friends, my kids' friends and stuff. So it's a great way to connect with people and to come together and to pray. And it's really, I look forward to it in the day because I'm just glad that my children are praying. You know, I'm just glad.
It's a beautiful thing.
You
did good, Mama.
So far, so good. Yeah. Oh, one more thing, real quick. I'll tell you. My second oldest daughter, who moved to Las Vegas, she just had a baby last year, and she's pregnant again. And we just found out the sex of the baby. It's a girl. Have another girl. So that, and I do girls, So I have 3 grandsons, and I will then have 4 granddaughters, just like I have 4 girls.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy. I don't know what to do with boys.
Don't worry. If you have boys, some girls will show up.
I know. Tell me about it. My grandson is like one of those walking handsome hunks. It's like, oh my God. Nerve-wracking. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you.
There you go.
Nice.
So guys, we love you. We want you to know we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be talking tech in easy to understand terms with the Tech Divas so that you can find out information about what it is you can apply to your business to do business better. Have a great day, everyone. And thank you again, ladies, for all you do.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.